Just because it's got a little quiet out there don't mean your boy ain't been hard at work. There's information you're going to see today that's exclusive to this channel. And please stay tuned to the end of the video. I've got a public service announcement meant for all of you anglers out there and a new video by CT's Newsstand band. Today's episode's something you ain't going to want to miss. So in the words of Tom Loke, let's do it. We're now learning new details surrounding the events that led to Bassmaster Elite Series and YouTube sensation Ben Milliken turning himself into the Nacogdoches County Sheriff's Department last month on charges of tournament fraud. News sources are detailing to the channel that the initial discovery that Milliken did not have a fishing license at the time of his ShareLunker submission did not happen the same week of the catch as initially reported. In fact, I have learned that the initial discovery wasn't made until the September-October timeframe. Remember in my last video how I talked about how they were getting ready for the ShareLunker banquet and they were crossing T's and dotting I's, making sure everybody was legal at the time of their respective catches? Well, that task of making sure everybody was good to go was farmed out to a local game warden in the Athens area. It was this game warden that made the discovery and then reported that back to program officials. So let's try to hammer this timeline out a little bit. He caught his ShareLunker submission in early February of 24. In September, October, they realized he didn't have a fishing license at the time of the catch, so they issued him the citation. Now, when he got his fishing license, only he knows. Why? Because FOIA requests exclude personal information like fishing licenses in the state of Texas. So that information is only known by him. However, what we are fairly sure of is that he did not have a fishing license, at least from August 31st of 2023 until early February of 24. That much we're pretty certain of. Through an exclusively obtained document dumped to this channel, we now know that it was the very same game warden who did the auditing for the ShareLunker program that signed the probable cause affidavit for the arrest warrant of Ben Milliken. Meanwhile, over on Ben's side, there's been some movement in the Nacogdoches County court system as well. And as I'm sure most of you are well aware of, he almost immediately started hawking his free Milliken t-shirts all over social media. And he was saying that good attorneys are expensive, but he has a great one. Well, he's talking about this guy, Sean Hightower of Hightower, Franklin & James Law Firm out of Nacogdoches, Texas. In doing my due diligence, I reached out to Sean Hightower. He's confident in his client's innocence and they're looking forward to their day in court. And in speaking of the good old Nacogdoches County court system, there's some interesting updates there and I want to walk you guys through them. Let's take a look. Now, the bulk of these court filings occurred on December 12th, the day of the arrest. But see, they take a little while to generate and appear in the system. Let's take a look at these specific filings and find out exactly what they mean. Some may surprise you. Now, the first one we want to look at is this little ditty called The Defendant's Election as to Punishment. What does that mean? This is where the defense stipulates to the court whether they either want a jury trial or a bench trial. I can confirm to you here today that they did in fact elect for a jury trial, which is probably a smart move being the fact it's Deep East Texas. Now, the next interesting one is called the Application for Community Supervision. Now, what this is an application that the defense submits on behalf of their defendant to the court. It's to show that he would be a great candidate for probation, should that be an option in sentencing. You know, things like a lack of criminal history and ties to community, that kind of good Boy Scout stuff. The next one's kind of self-explanatory. It falls under the Rule 404 of court procedure, and it's called Motion to Disclose Experts. It's like it sounds. It's their way of kind of getting out who's who and who's going to testify, that kind of jazz, essentially. And then there's this seemingly obnoxious little guy called the attorney letter. Trust me, he ain't as friendly as he sounds. Now, this one's actually a letter from the defense to the prosecution, and it's requesting any information on possible other charges they may still be investigating related to this case. See, they don't want to make any singular decisions within this case that may affect future proceedings. So they want to know if something else is coming down the pipe. An example would be if the prosecution is still possibly looking into the fact that he fished on other lakes without having a license. You know, between that August 31st of 23 and early February of 24, that would be something the defense kind of would want to know about. Now let's kind of put things in perspective for a moment. Do you remember Robbie Rose? He was convicted of a felony for his October of 2009 incident. Well, the felony he was convicted of was a bump up from the A misdemeanor that Milliken's being charged with. And the reason why is the difference in prices of prizes. Robbie Rose was up to get a $55,000 Legend boat. Well, Rose ended up getting punished for 15 days in jail, some fines, and 5 years of probation. But during those 5 years, he could not possess a fishing license. Meanwhile, on the other hand, Ben could receive up to a year in jail and up to $4,000 in fines, or up to 2 years probation and some fines. Make no mistake about it though, if the prosecution convicts him and they end up going with probation, they're probably going to want to yank that fishing license for whatever probationary period he gets. All in all, this should be a very interesting case to watch over the next couple of months. You know what, folks? I take real pride in this channel being a refuge for actual news within our sport. And I want everyone to feel welcome here. Pros, semi-pros, weekend warriors, bank beaters, I want you all to feel comfortable here. So I've got a little bit of a public service announcement for you. Here's my pitch to you. Let's say you're a professional angler and you're in an abusive relationship with your tournament organization. Let's say you're a semi-pro, a weekend warrior, a bank beater. You see a cheating scandal, something environmental, and you want me to dig into it, investigate it, get to the bottom of it, shoot me a tip at the news tip hotline at the bottom of the screen. I do not burn my sources. I could give you dozens of references, but that would be literally burning my sources. There's guys that have already submitted wonderful tips, and I'll be getting to them very soon. So, next I've got a bit of a treat for you. We have the new theme for the channel performed by CT's Newsstand band called On Air. Do me a favor, enjoy the video. Until next time we meet, get out there on the water, keep it wet.
Yo, it's a real tackle, let's get to the facts. I don't sugarcoat nothing, I'm spitting the max. You think I'm holding back? Nah, I better step back. I'm dropping lines like I'm casting with a full sack. Fast fishing news, I'm the voice of the scene. Got opinions so raw, they'll cut through your screen. I break it down with no filter, no mask. Getting to the truth while these others just jack. Facts on my deck, they can handle my spiel. I reel them in while they're stuck in their fields. If they don't like it, they can kiss my pass. And if they're getting mad, they can eat a big bag. Facts on my deck, they can't handle my spiel. I reel them in while they're stuck in their fields. If they don't like it, they can kiss my pass. And if they get mad, they can eat a big bag. Yo, it's a real tackle, let's get to the facts. I don't sugarcoat nothing, I'm spitting the max. You think I'm holding back? Nah, I better step back. I'm dropping lines like